Okay, guys, this session will be recorded, and a lot of people could not join today because, uh, obviously, because of the time difference. Someone from Australia pinged me that the time doesn't work for them, and a lot of people are going to join us from the US. Um, my team is also going to join from Aurix, so I'm really excited to introduce Noah and Catherine. So I'm just going to wait for a couple of more minutes. The number of participants is increasing. Once we reach 300, I'm gonna probably start. Okay. Let me know if you can hear my voice properly. It has to be absolutely clear. So I want all of you to tell me when I'm not audible, if you're facing any problem. Perfect, perfect. Thanks, Ronak. Thank you.
Shovik, your mom says all the best.
Thanks to my mother. This is my first time doing this, so I'm a little nervous, but I'm super excited. I'm super excited to talk to all of you and see how this goes. Okay, I think by 7:10 or 12 we can start. It's 268 people have already joined. Thanks, Noah. Oh, Noah is here. Thank you, Noah. I hope my audio is not breaking. Someone's complaining about the audio breaking a lot. Okay, perfect, perfect. Thank you. Thank you, Devesh. Thank you, Vaibhav.
All right, just to
Yes.
set the tone for this meeting, guys. If there's any issue during the meeting, just address it to me. Saheli, he is not audible, and I will unmute myself and let him know. If I see a lot of people saying that, Shovik, I myself will let you know.
Yeah,
Otherwise, you
please.
don't pay any attention to single messages because it's usually a specific issue. So don't have
Yeah,
to worry about it. I'll let you know.
yeah, exactly. I think there might be issues with some people's Zoom with the audio. Okay, so it's 19:10 or 7:10 p.m. in India. Saili, shall we start now? Is it a good time to start?
Absolutely, absolutely. Get started.
Absolutely.
I think there's
Perfect.
still people joining, but yeah, you
Perfect.
can go
All
ahead.
good to start. Let's start, guys. Are you guys excited? I'm super excited. All right. Okay, let me know when you can see my screen. All right, I'm gonna have to hide all of these things. Okay. Okay, we're all good to go. Meeting is being transcribed for AI Companion. What a time to be in. We're talking about AI and ML, and AI is being used in Zoom to transcribe this meeting. Amazing. All right, are we good to go? Let me know if you can see my slides clearly. Let me know if I'm audible. Saili, you can tell me if everything's good, and we can start.
Yes, all is good.
All right, welcome to the introductory class of AI and ML. This is for college students and beginners, young professionals who just started their jobs, and people trying to understand the technical parts of AI. It can be really intimidating for someone who's not been into computers and for someone who's just starting out with AI. Like there's so many technical jargons out there like LLMs and all these things, and people are like, what are these things? And then marketers, sale people, they're like, oh, we just care about using the tool, we don't care about learning about the technical parts. But what if I tell you that I can make this very simple for you, and this class is specifically designed for that? This is an introductory class, and this has been designed carefully to make sure that everyone understands it. Okay, so I'm going to ask you a lot of questions during the class, so make sure that you answer on chat, and I'm going to check the chat as well. This is going to be very interactive because right now I can just see my screen and I cannot hear you guys, so I'm going to talk to you through chat. Okay, the first question: why are you joining me today? What is the purpose? What are you expecting to learn today? Let me see the chat. So the question is, why are you joining me today? And I can see to upskill myself, to upscale, vast my knowledge, just to upscale. Okay, basics of AI to be updated. Wow, there's a lot of people who want to upskill. Great, guys, because you're already on the right path. You're spending 2 hours of your Sunday in this class, and I'm going to help you to understand everything that I know about AI in a very simple and easy manner. Okay, perfect. So you're joining me to upscale, to know about AI, to understand. Yeah, just a second. Let me hide this floating control. Yeah,
Shovik, you'll have to disable annotation. So on your top screen, you will get three dots, and there's going to be an option called disable annotation. If you find it, cool. If you don't find it, I'll come and check it for
yep,
you.
it's been disabled. How do I get rid of this?
Exit, then reshare again.
Okay, just a second. Please guys don't, please guys don't draw on the screen. Okay, I'm gonna share again. No worries. All right. Perfect. Thank you, Saheli. Thank you. Okay, so you guys want to upscale in AI, and a lot of you just want to learn about different things, and you just want to see how this goes, right? Perfect. So the next question is, when was the first time you heard about AI? Okay, uh, Saheli, you can tell me the answers because I have to go back to the chat again and just tell me how what people are responding. What are the years that? Just tell me the year. Was it 2020? Was it 2021?
2018, COVID time. Lots of them say 2018,
2018.
2019. Catherine says 2020. Uh,
2020. That's nice. So personally, I
so
heard about AI back in 2016 or 2017. This was when I was doing a research project with Variable Energy Cyclotron Center. It's a part of BARC or BHABA, which is in Bombay. It's a research project, and the scientist who was working there, he introduced me to AI and deep learning very specifically. And he told me, and at that time, this was really boring. This was all maths. Like I was like, what is all this thing? Like I don't understand all of this. And now AI is everywhere. Everyone's using AI. So everyone wants to learn about AI. All of a sudden, AI has become very sexy, and everyone wants to know what this thing is, how this thing works, right? So probably like a lot of people might have heard about AI for the first time when ChatGPT was released and it was all over the news, probably 2021, 2022, right? But when do you think the term AI was first coined? Any guesses? I'm quickly going to go over this.
1956, somebody says 1972.
Well,
Uh,
whoever said 1956 is very close, but it was 1955. The term was coined by John McCarthy at Dartmouth. That was almost 70 years ago. That's been a long time. So before that, there was something called as a Turing test, which was by Alan Turing. If you guys know about it, great. If you guys don't know, just write it down somewhere and Google it after this class. So learn about Turing test. It's very interesting. It's very simple. I'm not going to go over that, but in 1950 there was something like a Turing test, which was done by Alan Turing, and this still holds true. So just to give you a gist, basically when you take basically ChatGPT has become so good that you can't really tell the articles written by ChatGPT are written by an AI or by a human. So that difference, when a human cannot understand that whether this is human written or whether this is written by AI, that's when you pass the Turing test. So for example, if you think about the voices, the ChatGPT voice that was recently launched, it has voices like and it talks like a human. So it sounds very human, and we think that we're really talking to a human and not an AI. Okay, so let's define AI in very simple words. AI is like a smart robot brain that can learn and make decisions on its own. What's the full form of AI? Artificial intelligence. So basically, we're creating an intelligence artificially that can make decision on its own. Okay, say hello to Sarah. AI has replaced everything in the last few years. Obviously, the way we work, the way we talk, the way we interact with the world, everything has changed. So, Sarah was trying to run a small business, a unique jewelry shop. And in this business, she encounters a lot of problems. She has to design all the jewelry, she has to pack, she has to ship, she has to answer endless questions from the customers. And then all of a sudden, she feels very exhausted. She is very tired. She just wants to make money for making jewelries, not for doing all these things, right? That's when she can think of some other alternatives. So she thinks about AI. How can she use AI to help her? She goes and builds a chatbot or lets someone else build a chatbot for her that handles her customers and also handle her social media platforms. She writes her sales emails and also help the AI can help with predicting future sales. So basically AI can help in something called as inventory management. So AI will tell you exactly how the sales have done, and it can help you understand, okay, this design is doing well, I should put more of this. So these are some of the ways that Sarah can, benefit a lot from AI. So what happens? And this isn't just about Sarah. So AI is revolutionizing every industry. So if you really master AI, you have the biggest advantage in any market. All right. So let me introduce myself. I'm Shovik. My full name is Shovik Roy, and I'll make the technical parts of AI super fun and simple with a lot of stories. My background, I have a bachelor's and master's degree in computer science and engineering. I did my BTech in 2018, my MTech in computer science in 2020. I was doing a lot of research during that time. I enjoyed a lot. It was very hands-on. It was interdisciplinary research. And then I joined IT industry. Currently, I'm working as a senior consultant for a global investment bank. And I am very curious to learn about AI. And I'm also a part of Aurix, which I'm going to talk about at the end of this class. And it's very interesting. We are trying to see what people can do with AI, and I'll introduce Aurix at the end of this class. That's about me. Let's get started. Are you ready? Guys, just want to see the chat. And again, I'm going to go to the chat and I'm just going to see how many people are ready, how many people are keeping up with me. Okay, how many people have joined? 329, perfect. All right, super excited. Okay, perfect. Guys, let me share my screen again. All right, it's gonna go. Yep. All right. Okay. Can you see my screen? I think it's got stuck. Okay. So what will you learn today? You're going to learn about different types of AI, how computers process input, language modeling, that's my favorite part in NLP, natural language processing, multimodal generative AI, machine learning, and ethics in AI. So this is completely beginner friendly. Don't be worried. There's no code. I'm not going to throw you tech jargons here. I'm going to explain in a very simple language, and you're not going to find this video on YouTube yet. This is one of a kind. This is unique. So you better stay around, okay? All right. So let me start with the introduction. This was one of the questions that I asked in the Google form, and I wanted to collect some data because data is the new oil. This particular phrase was formed by Clive Humby, a British mathematician back in it was 2006 when he formed this particular phrase. What people think is like data is the new oil because oil is very expensive and it's used in different things. So people thought, oh, data is going to be data is going to be very important. Everyone's going to use data, but that's not the meaning of this. Data is the new oil basically means like oil needs to be refined, data also needs to be refined before you can make something out of it. Okay. So when you hear the term data is the new oil, it doesn't mean that we're comparing it to something like, oh, it's going to be very expensive, it's going to be really amazing. We're comparing it with oil being ready to use after it's refined, right? So after you refine data, that's when you can use data. So almost close to half of you are not sure what you want to do this for. So you're just upskilling. And after this, I want to make sure that this 40% either falls in this 27% or in this one, in either of these two categories. So I'm going to make sure that these 42% of you, whoever signed up, are going to be in the other two categories. All right, perfect. Let's look at some data. Are we better off than our parents? I love looking at data and trying, and this is one of the favorite skills that I have that you're also going to have, even if you're a marketer. If you're attending this workshop, then you must look at data. You should love data. And this is a really nice spreadsheet to look at. If you guys have seen it already on LinkedIn, if you follow this guy, Aviral Bhatnagar, he's very famous and he writes a really nice post. So what I'm comparing here is I'm comparing the prices in 1994 versus the prices today in 2024. Basically, back in 1994, 1 rupees is the currency of India for people who are joining from international. So rupees, 1 rupee in 1994 is basically 6.95 in 2020. So basically 1 rupee in 94 is 7 rupee. That's why you'll see the inflation adjusted price is around 270 to 278k. Uh, so 1 liter milk used to cost around 14. So that's very expensive because right now we get it for 55. So this is a very nice data to look at. I like this data, so I wanted to put it in my slides. This was just yesterday. If you guys want to take a screenshot, take a screenshot. This will make you understand, are we really better off than our parents? But data in a form like a table is really boring, okay? So let's visualize it. And before visualizing, we should obviously look at some data and we need to hypothesize, like we need to think of some observations, right? What about the income growth? What does this data tell you? Like you can see that wealth of the richest person back in 94 was 30,000 CR and now it's 1200 CR. And we're definitely talking about Mukesh Ambani, right? So wealth, the real estate market, if you see the rent was really high back in 94 in Bombay. So these are some of the observations that you can look at the data and you can tell the wealth distribution, the urban living cost. These are some of the observations that you can just look at the data and tell. After that, you'd want to visualize this data, right? So that's what I did for you guys. I just took some of the values and I visualized here. Now, for people who like charts, they already know what I'm trying to show here. This is a stacked bar chart. Now, there are two colors, yellow and green. If you see in one of these bar, the yellow is bigger than the green one, that means 1994, that thing was more expensive. Maruti Alto or Maruti 800 was a very popular car back in 94. But back in 94, it was not a very common thing to have a car. So it was definitely really expensive to own a Maruti Alto. And today it's just 350,000, right? Compared to what it was back in 1994. Similarly, a bypass surgery was almost ₹1 million, right? And then today it's just around 500. It's not just, but I'm comparing it with 1994. So these things can tell you like what things has changed, what has become expensive, what has become cheaper. This way you can visualize this, right? So you can see that flights were very expensive back in 1994. And this thing that you can see, India average, basically an average salary of a person in India is 250,000 rupees per year. So average salary has also increased. People are doing better now, I guess. Phone call. So you see that back in inflation adjusted price, imagine spending 3 lakh on phone. That's crazy, right? That's all thanks to technology, we have come really far. And I wanted to show this graph to people who appreciate nice data, right? Let's move on. So before you move on with this class, you got to choose a path. Are you going to be the users of AI? Are you going to be the builders of AI? Or are you going to choose to be one of the more elite ones, the researchers of AI, ethical AI policies, educators, trainers? So what are users of AI? A lot of people don't want to code. They just want to use AI for productivity, for business. They don't really care about it, right? So if you go to a business, they'll be like, what's the business value that I'm going to get? I don't want to build AI apps. I don't want to code. So these are the people. These are the users of AI. Content writing, marketing. People don't really want to build. They just want to use tools like ChatGPT, Claude, and that's really good. Builders of AI. And that's what I'm probably going to focus on in my next sessions as well. And also in this session, they develop, program, and engineer AI applications. You can use low code, no code applications. And examples are data scientists, machine learning engineers, AI engineers. Okay. Researchers, why have I kept it in a separate category compared to builders of AI? Researchers are different. Okay. They do a lot of novel work. When I was doing research, it was very disconnected from what we do in industry. Okay, thank you. Is that a poll? All right. Oh, thank you. Thanks, whoever. I think Sahili created this poll. Thank you for creating this poll. Let's see. I'm gonna give it another minute probably to see how the poll goes. Can you guys quickly? All right, we've got a 50-50 split. I'm so glad that I did not really make this super technical because I don't want to lose the users of AI in this class. Okay. All right. A lot of people, a lot of you have answered already. Perfect. So we've got like almost a 50% split between the users and the builders, right? So okay, I'm gonna end this poll. Thank you. So almost a 50-50 split. Nice to know that. Good to know. Okay, so researchers, as I said, is a novel profession. They're going to build the next technology. So when you hear about ChatGPT, that's an application by OpenAI. GPT, the T stands for transformers. We're going to talk about transformers in a bit. But that architecture was developed by the researchers of AI. They worked really hard. They built novel things that later engineers and builders of AI use to build products or applications. So that's completely different path. I hope you guys are clear about users of AI, builders of AI, and okay. I'm gonna see. All right. So I hope you are clear about all these parts. So let me talk about some of the subfields of AI. Machine learning, deep learning, NLP are really popular nowadays, right? These come under AI. There's a lot of other things which are not there in this diagram right now. Computer vision, self-driving car, work on computer vision. Then we've got data science, data engineering. Where do we put all of this? Big data. Everyone's so confused. Like, are these things even related? Somewhat, yes. But AI basically is like this huge field. It's like a huge subject. It's like computer science. And in computer science, we've got different subjects, right? So AI is like a subject. And in that, we've got machine learning, which is a part of AI. Deep learning is basically a part of machine learning where we talk about deep neural networks. We use more data for deep learning. NLP, that's picking up like crazy. Everything that you see today, LLMs and everything, the core uh, subject for that is natural language processing. So that's the subfields of AI. By the way, guys, feel free to take a screenshot if you want. Okay, if there's a lot of information, take a screenshot. Don't worry. And anyway, this session is going to be recorded. Real world applications. So you see so many. I'm not going to talk through all of them, but just have a look and see the real world applications of AI. I'm just going to talk about one of my favorite ones, transportation, self-driving cars, Waymo. So I think Catherine and Noah, I'm slightly jealous of you guys because you guys get to experience Waymo. Like imagine getting into a taxi and there's no driver. Everything is automated. And you'll probably just freak out like no one's driving that car. So I really like the idea of self-driving cars. Tesla's doing well, but Waymo's taken it to a different level where it's just self-driving taxis, right? So uh, we've got AI in different fields as well. Like Netflix got entertainment; it recommends movies and music using AI. So these are all the fields. If you guys want to take a screenshot, please feel free to do so. I'm gonna move forward. Okay, types of AI. Let's see. Time for a story, guys. How many of you remember this? Let's see. Can we see the chat? Okay. Feel free to chat. Okay. No, that's not Tarak Mehta Ka Ulta Chashma. This is very specifically for India. So don't feel left out. People who are joining from outside India, I'll tell you the context. That's correct. That's correct. That's Shakalaka Boom Boom Boom. So I think we've got some nice millennials here. When I was a kid, I used to watch this. And the context why I want to tell you is this guy is Sanju. He has a pencil, and this is a magic pencil. Now, this pencil can draw something and it will come to real life. Why am I showing you all this? But again, I'm pretty sure I'm not even going to look at the chat because if someone tells me that they don't know who this is, then I'm really sorry for you. You probably had a really sad childhood. This was really popular. Okay. This was Doraemon, and I watched it. My sister watched it. My entire family watched it. So there's no shame admitting in that. All right. why am I talking about Doraemon and Sanju and Magic Pencil in AI? The pencil that creates new things based on pattern it has learned is basically generative AI. Sanju knows that he went to McD and Burger King and then he ate a burger and it's like, oh wow, this is amazing. How do I get this? So he now knows what a burger is. He's learned what a burger is. And he's going to use generative AI, the pencil, to get a burger once he draws that. So he's got a magic pencil, he draws stuff, and he gets it. But it's not a real thing, right? It's a fake thing. So that's when Doraemon comes in. Doraemon's like, Sanju's doing something wrong. Doraemon has all these gadgets, right? So Doraemon has a gadget that basically tells you if Sanju's burgers are real or fake. What's Sanju doing? He's just drawing burgers and bringing them to life, right? These are not real. These don't really exist. So Doraemon's got this nice gadget that tells us, is it really real or is it fake? That's discriminative AI. Let's take a little more technical example to understand this. I hope you guys found that example funny or nice. Let me know in the chat and we'd be happy to see. So let me talk about a little more technical details here about the discriminative model. I took this particular image from Jeff Su on YouTube. He's got a very nice video on understanding AI. You can check it out later. So you've got this little cute images of dogs and cats. The cat looks really sad here for some reason. And then you've got these labels. You tell the model, the machine learning model, that, hey, look, this is a dog, this is a cat, this is a dog, this is a cat. And you feed all these images into the model, right? And then you train the model. Then you ask the model that, hey, tell me whether this particular picture, is this a dog or a cat? If the model tells me that it's a dog, then the output was correctly classified. That means the model is right. That's the example of a discriminative model. Now let's look at generative model. It works differently. It's got no labels. Generative models looks at features. You see all these features in these. So dogs got this kind of ears, these kind of paws. So generative AI learns all these things. If they see these kind of things, they understand that this is a dog. So then I can ask the model, the generative model, to give me an image of a dog and it will create something new. That's the difference between discriminative model and generative model in AI. Okay. All right. What are all these things? Sanju's back again. Looks like he's got more pencils now, but he's got a pencil for each and everything now. Earlier, he just had one pencil and that was for burgers, but now it looks like he's got a pencil for pizza, he's got a pencil for toys, robots. He's probably carrying a lot of pencils. But he's like, okay, I can't just draw pizzas with my burger pencil. So he's got a pencil for everything, right? So that's really hard. So he's got different pencils and he can have like infinite number of pencils for different tasks. Well, Doraemon comes back again and says, Sanju, I've got this all-purpose gadget. Why don't you use this? It can build castles, it can bake pizzas, it can do your homework, it can probably even do some nice research, build something new, just like humans do all these things. And this all-purpose gadget is amazing, isn't it? That's what we call general AI. What I told about Sanju was he has different pencils for different things. That's called narrow AI. Basically, he's using the pencil for one task, for either creating a burger or pizza. It's just for one task. But general AI is something that you can do. This is the concept that's still very popular, and people are working relentlessly on this. The term is called AGI, and it's going to be probably the next big thing after AI, artificial general intelligence. People are trying to build a system that has this general intelligence that can do everything like a human does. It's a really hard problem to solve, but we're living in exciting times, right? No one knows what's going to happen. All right, moving on to what does a computer see? I'm going to see the chat again and give me answers very quickly. What do you think a computer sees? Do you think they see images? Do you think they see text? How does a computer understand the input? Pixels,
All right, Shovik, I'm going to interrupt you a little bit.
Yeah.
You please just quickly give a summary one more time of generative AI versus discriminative AI
All right.
and narrow AI versus general AI. Most of them have understood, but there's a few people who have not.
Perfect.
So
Okay. Okay. I'll just go
summarize it
over
again.
once, man. Thank you, Cyril. Thank you. Okay.
Without using Sanju and Doraemon probably, and just talk
Yeah.
about an
Yeah. I'll just talk about it basically. Okay. So discriminative model and generative model, right? So let's say uh, you've got you've got a lot of shoes. Uh, I'm gonna check the chat at the same time.
Actually, I'm going to give you guys an example.
Yes,
And
please, Cyril,
so
please.
you can tell me if I'm wrong because I'm not the tech person. Okay.
No, it's okay. Please go on.
Let's say you have a girlfriend, and one day she wants a bag, and one day she wants chocolates, and another day she wants you to gift her gold. Okay, so now you have to create something that will create literally everything. Okay, so that's general AI. Okay. But let's say you know that your girlfriend only wants chocolates and only chocolates, so then you can create something more simple that will be called narrow AI. Okay. I'm not sure if that makes sense. So,
That's sort of correct, right? So one of the other ways that I can make you understand narrow AI versus general AI is whatever we used to do before 2020 probably or 2018 was narrow AI. We used to build a machine learning model. We used to do some statistic to solve one problem. Now that was very narrow. Like there was just one problem. The data was trained on certain things, and it can only solve that one problem, right? That it's been trained on. But now we've got large language models, LLMs, which can do a variety of tasks, right? So that's more generic. That's more general. So that's general AI. And yeah, okay, okay, super clear. Sally saying, I'm narrow AI. I only want books from my boyfriend. Okay, cool. And some of you guys have written in the text that computer understands binary. Very good, guys. You're doing your homework perfect. I'm very proud of you guys. All right. You guys are absolutely right. So let me talk about what a computer sees when they see an image. This is a very popular image, by the way. And if you guys are doing AI, you should have probably seen it earlier. Okay. So you see all these numbers. These are basically pixels. And using these pixels, computer can understand which one is light and which one's dark. So these are called activations. I'm not going to go too technical into this today, but just understand that these numbers represent the image. Okay, so an image is represented by all these numbers, and you can basically see the image being enlightened or basically like activated in this part, and it shows that this is an 8. Perfect. This is how the computer understands it. Okay, so what about audio? This is a very less talked about topic, but I just wanted to cover it because right now I'm talking to a microphone, right? This captures the analog signal, it converts the sound waves into electrical signals. And let's say if I talk loudly into it, then I'll get a bigger amplitude. If I talk very slowly and it's very softly, I'm probably going to get something like this. Okay. A lot of you guys, whoever's been crazy about tech, has probably downloaded songs like I used to do from songs.pk. That was a very popular website. And I used to check what's the quality of this song. Is it 320 or is it 192k hertz? So basically, what that means is in 1 second, um, how many times the sample size has been taken. If you guys are not understanding this part, it's okay. It's just how computer processes audio. Just understand that every second, computer is taking a lot of samples, and the higher the sample, the clearer the sound. Okay, so if you've got 192k hertz, that's high quality audio. Okay, let's move on. So inputs to the computer: images, text. I missed out on text, right? Because the next topic that we're going to talk about is all text, and I love that topic. That's my favorite topic: language modeling. So just to sum up, inputs to the computer: in images, the computer see pixel. Text, we've got things like ASCII, Unicode. In ASCII, this is basically a type of encoding. So capital A is 65, small a is 97. If someone's doing computer science engineering, they're probably very familiar with this. So they use some language rules and patterns to understand the meaning of words. So um, we had a we had a subject in computer science in bachelor's. It's called compiler design. In that, we've got Chomsky grammar and these other grammar things. So I'm going to talk more about text later. Then we also saw audio. So let's move on. These are the ways that computer sees images, text, and audio. Okay. All right. My favorite part has come up. Language modeling in NLP, natural language processing. Okay. This is super interesting. And I'm again gonna use a story for all of you who are not understanding, you know, the technical parts. All right. I'm just gonna check if anyone has any question. Do you guys have any questions so far? I'm just gonna check. And
I don't think there's a question, but I think there's an example I'd like to confirm from you.
yeah,
Divyesh says that ChatGPT is generic AI, Kundli GPT is narrow AI. Is that correct?
that is correct. I mean, ChatGPT basically can solve a lot of problems, and but still, we not really gotten into generic AI, Divesh. Okay, so what I would say is like right now everything that we're doing is narrow AI. Uh, General AI is still a concept that's yet to be explored because when I talk about general AI, I talk about a world where AI can do everything. I'm talking about a world where AGI has become a reality. So I'm probably thinking that all of this, even Chat GPT today, yes, general AI is AGI. Yeah, yeah, you can say that. Yeah, okay, all right, yep, cool. So let's continue and let's talk about Hansel and Gretel. They discovered a library, but they did not know any language. Thanks to Saheli for all these nice images. She's helped me a lot to get these nice, cute little graphics. Chapter 1. So we've got this story. Okay. Right now we're doing language modeling, guys. So we're talking all about text. We're talking all about NLP. Okay. So they wanted to read books and remember the stories. That was their goal. That's all they wanted. So they wanted to read a lot of books. They wanted to remember stories. But they didn't understand the meaning of words pretty well. Okay, they came from a no world land, like probably the language that people spoke there, didn't know what it was. So they asked the words wizard to help. Now the words wizard is word to vec. Okay, now the word wizard, they said, okay, they had a spell. So basically, the word king might have queen and castle as best friends. So word wizard said that, you know what, I'm gonna I'm gonna do the spell, and you can tell that there are different words, and basically burgers, pizzas would be best friends. So you think about something which has similarity, those words would be best friends. So that's what the words wizard said. But again, there was still a problem. It treated every word in a sentence separately without considering the context of that particular sentence, right? That's where chapter 2, the storyteller, comes in. RNN. RNN is basically recurrent neural network. I really don't want to go too much technical. Why recurrent? What's a neural network? Just try to understand the story for now. So, chapter 2, RNN, the storyteller, comes into the library. RNN could remember the sentence context because she remembers the words that came before. So she has memory. Okay. The cat sat on the mat. So basically, if I ask the RNN who is sitting on the mat, it can answer that cat is sitting on the mat. So basically, RNN had that memory. But it had one problem. She was getting a little old, so she forgot long stories. She would often mix up and not remember whether a story was talking about riverbanks or investment banks. Now, that's a very silly mistake to do, right? Because as humans, we're like, oh my God, how can you even compare riverbanks to investment banks? Those are two different banks. That's when Super Librarian or Transformers came in. Mind you, guys, this is the T of GPT. This is the architecture that's forming all the massive changes in the world today. So he had a superpower. He could remember really long stories and the context. For example, if I gave like a really long story, it would remember that. So if you've used ChatGPT before, you know that if you ask question, they would have a prompt come up like memory updated, and obviously it's much more advanced, but the underlying architecture in it is transformers. And that power was called self-attention. Now, if I want to explain self-attention, I'm pretty sure half of you would probably leave the meeting and be like, Souvik, I'm done. So that's for another day. I will go really deep into it. I'll probably do the math if you guys want me to on my iPad. But just understand that they had this power called self attention, which is a very important thing. If you guys want to really go into the research, there's one paper which is super popular in computer science and AI. It's called Attention is All You Need. It's a 2017 paper by Google researchers, and that changed the world. That is the paper that formed ChatGPT today. Okay, so that's a very important paper. That's why I say that research or researchers in AI are a totally different genre. Okay, so here's how they can now read and remember everything. So Hansel and Gretel are very happy. Let's rewind. Let's see what Word2Vec or the words wizard did. They wanted to understand words, but the problem was that words were understood separately. Now, the storyteller could remember sentence context, but it forgot long stories. Then came the super librarian transformers, and they read the whole sentences. They used self attention and understood context. They solved the long story problem. Now, this is a very simple example. Hansel and Gretel are no one but the computer itself. They can't understand text, they cannot understand semantic relationship between text. This is when you use a complex architecture like transformers to solve all these problems that RNNs, recurrent neural network, and Word2Vec had. Okay, so let me stop here for a bit and see if anyone has any question, because um, this was probably a little complex. So let me know if you guys have any questions, and if it's relevant to the rest of the class, I'll definitely answer it.
I think the examples were pretty clear. The storytelling was pretty good. But
All
guys,
right,
let us know if there's a question.
perfect.
I think it
Thank
was
you.
fine. Yeah, a lot of people confirmed it was fine.
Thank you. Thank you. That's amazing. Let's move on. All right. So
Okay, but a lot of people are still asking for a summary. So if you can please give a summary, why
yeah,
don't you just
that's
run them
that's
through the
exactly what I
data?
was doing, right? So Hansel and Gretel are basically the computer. The computers don't understand words. They don't understand a book. Computers want to read books. They want to read documents. They want to understand documents, because a lot of the data that we use today are all text. They're all documents, right? There's a lot of text. We communicate through text, so they want to understand what's being told, what's the context. But it's not that easy to understand words in a long sentence. So what was the problem with this Word2Vec architecture, or this particular thing was popular back in 2013, and after 2017 everyone's been using transformers now. So words were understood separately with something called as word embeddings. I'm going to show you what it is in the next slides. And then in the second one, in the storyteller could remember sentence context. They understood, but they couldn't remember the long story context. So she had some poor memory. It was, if I gave like a 5 page 10 page context, then if I ask a question, okay, so tell me who was Ram, who's Sita, and then probably RNN would probably suffer, like, oh my god, I don't know. That's when transformers came in, and they could read whole sentences. They use something called self attention. If you guys really want to go technical, look this term up, look up the paper. Attention is all you need, and you'll really like it. Okay, it's very important to understand that particular paper if you want to go really deep into NLP and if you want to become an NLP researcher. Okay,
I think
let
some people are interested in that paper. So Shovik, you can send the link to that paper later on in
yeah,
the
I'll
subject.
just write down the name. Just search on Google. Um, Attention is all you need. Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Someone asked what's the full form of Chat GPT. So
Yeah,
please.
Chat GPT is basically Chat GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Don't worry, I have an entire session for multimodal GenAI. When I come to GenAI, when I come to Chat GPT, I'll explain that. Okay, what pre-trained means, what generative means. I've talked about generative AI. I'll probably rewind if you guys want me to. Okay, so let's continue for now. Let's go a little technical, because we've been telling a lot of stories, and This is something called as one hot encodings and bag of words. Now, this has a lot of problems. I'm just going to explain very straightforward. So there's this sentence called to be or not to be. So this word to can be represented like this, because if I say be, not, or to, so I'll collectively count how many B's are there. BE, one, two. So there's one and two in this particular sentence. So this is called bag of words. So basically, it's just counting the occurrences of a particular word or token in a sentence. There's a lot of problems with this kind of encoding, and this is not useful. It doesn't tell the semantic relationship. Like, I don't understand, like, how is king related to queen then? Like, I understand there's occurrences of king 100 times in a story and queen 5 times, 10 times, but how are they related? They are definitely related. So we need to capture these relationships, and that's when word embeddings come in. Computers don't understand natural language, English, so they have this thing called word embeddings, and these are vectors uh, in n-dimensional spaces basically, and they are basically like, so to summarize or to simplify, these are animals, food, drinks. I think you get the idea from the image. That's why I put the image there. So most of you guys understand that word embeddings basically help you to club or segment means of transportation, drinks, animals, food, all these categories into one, or they would be very close to each other in a vector space. Okay. So these tokens are converted into numerical representation, and these are called word embeddings. Okay. They can capture the semantic relationship in the image. Okay. Let's see some.
Please, you should explain the word semantic for people.
Yeah, semantic relationship basically means like how is coffee related to tea? Like, are they a category of drink? Like, basically, if I compare the word coffee with king, what is the possibility? What is the vector, or what is the difference between these two vectors? Basically, uh, do you think coffee is more related to um, juice, or do you think it's more related to king? What would be your answer? Juice, right? So that's where it understands, when you have these vectors, you have these embeddings. So that's how it understands that these particular words belong to a certain group. That's what semantic relationship means. Okay, so let's move on to something more practical. And I took the screenshot, uh, and I prompted ChatGPT to suggest me the best song of Queen. And then I asked the second question, where did the Queen of England live? So now, how does ChatGPT differentiate between these two queens? We just did the story, right? Hansel and Gretel. It understands that the word song is related to the Queen band, rock band Queen, and the word live and of England are representative of Queen of England. Okay, so Queen of England. So this was, I think I conducted this test like probably a few months ago, when the cutoff date of ChatGPT was January 2022. Right now is July 2023. So it has updated its memory. So this is not the answer that you'll probably get. The sentence is broken down into tokens. Tokens are nothing but the smallest uh, word, or the so of, the. These are also tokens. These are stop words which we remove before we go into processing of NLP, right? So these are tokens. So basically, these tokens are converted into numerical representation called word embeddings, which we just saw. Okay, so another one, please write clear prompts to avoid ambiguity. So people sometimes blame ChatGPT, but it's not really smart yet. Okay, I just asked where is Queen from. Okay, it was giving me the answer that Queen, the British band, is from London. And then I said I actually meant the actual Queen. So please write, mention where is the Queen of England from. You'll probably get the right answer. LLMs are incorrect and imperfect sometimes. This is a test that I conducted yesterday. This was on Instagram. I follow a page, and they said, why don't you go ahead and do this? And I tried everything. Perplexity, Claude. Some people were commenting that, Perplexity is giving the right answers. Like, okay, let me give it a shot. Let me give it a shot. Claude, ChatGPT 4, Llama 3.1, Grok. No one could get it right. You as a human know that 9.11 is smaller than 9.9. But ChatGPT will convince you that it is greater. Look at the explanation I got from Claude.
Okay, Shovik, there's a question that's coming a lot, and I think we should have foreseen this. What is LLMs? A lot of people don't know what is
Oh,
LLM.
yeah, sorry about that. LLMs mean large language model. So, large language model are basically the uh, fundamental behind ChatGPT. So these are language models. We are talking about language modeling, right? We're talking about word embeddings. So let's say if I take all the data of the internet and I train a neural network, I train a model. So that's a lot of data. That's what so there will be a lot of patterns that the particular model will learn, and that's what LLMs are. It will gain a lot of capabilities. Big companies like OpenAI, Google, they spend a lot of money to train these models, to do different kind of task, be it reasoning or um, generative AI, different kind of things. So basically, LLMs are large language models, which are basically models which are trained on the entire internet's data or a large amount of data. This could be private data, this could be public data. We don't know for sure, but these things are really good and they need a lot of compute and a lot of money to obviously get trained. Okay, so they rely on patterns they have seen. Basically, this is the Llama 3.1 that was recently released by Meta. It's an open source model. And it showed that 9.11 is bigger than 9.9. Why? Because it's probably comparing the tokens and not the numerical value of it. Now, what does that mean? Basically, 9.11 is basically the hundredths part has 11. So this is the explanation that Llama 3.1 gave me, that has 11th hundreds and 900. So 9.11 is greater than 9.9. So the way that these things work, you should definitely cross check when it comes to text, when it comes to content, when it comes to written content. You can still rely on it, but when it comes to math and when it comes to very technical things, these things have a long way to go until we see ChatGPT 5 probably, because they're saying that it's supposed to have a PhD level intelligence. Right now, the models that you see are probably like high school level or probably just college level, right? Okay, let's move on to multimodal generative AI. This is really popular, and a lot of people who are currently in this workshop are interested in this. So let me know, guys, if you have any questions. And also, I would request people like Catherine, Noah, if you guys are here, if you know answers to some questions, please feel free to answer anyone, all of you guys. You're free to answer questions if you know the answers to that. So yeah. Okay, perfect. Let's continue. Okay, we're talking about multimodal generative AI. So this term multimodal, what does that mean? A lot of people will ask me. It's the first question. Multimodal basically means there's different modes of input and there's different modes of output. That's a very powerful thing. I can input text and I can get image out of it. I can input text and I can get video out of it. That's basically what OpenAI's Sora promises to do. So there can be multiple inputs and then there can be multiple outputs, right? So don't get intimidated while looking at this image. I'll break it down to you. There's lots of modalities. There's text, image, audio, video. So first we have to encode these images, okay? And we do some sort of LLM centric alignment and basically some processing before we feed it into the Gen AI model, and then it produces some output with some more uh, I think, like, there's some more processing required for that. So a lot of A lot of you might have heard what stable diffusion is. So that's very useful, and that's also the backbone of Midjourney, where you can basically write prompts to get really nice images, and it does a much better job. Stable diffusion XL, so it does a much better job probably if you are into creating a lot of images. Applications of multimodal model: text to text, takes natural language input, produces text output, trained on large sets of images. That's Midjourney, OpenAI. Um, so text to video, a lot of people are interested in this to see how good you can just write down something and it'll give you a video, a really nice video. That's what we have seen that OpenAI Sora has promised, right? So there's a lot of other output as well, and there's so many things. Feel free to take a screenshot, and I'll not go through all of them because there's lots and lots of applications of this multimodality model in LLMs, right? So I'll go through some of them, which I feel are very, very important. For text, we've got text generation. We want to generate a lot of text. We want someone to just summarize a text. Let's say I've got like this huge YouTube video and I got the captions, or I can transcribe that. I can just get the huge text. I can just tell ChatGPT to summarize in 100 words, 200 words, and it'll probably do a very decent job. That's summarization. Search, text editing, coding. If you guys are not using LLMs, if you guys are not using generative AI for coding, you're not doing justice. Absolutely not. 2024 is the year when you should definitely be using a lot of generative AI into your code to help you learn better, not to completely automate the code. It will help you to optimize your code. It will be that guide that you probably needed on Stack Overflow. It will help you to bypass all the jargons all of probably learning shell script. It was really difficult. So I can basically input a text. I can just write down like, write me a shell script to get the headers of a CSV file, and do this in a loop for 10 files in a particular folder. It will write that entire shell script. I can just go and run that. So basically, shell script is a program that you can run on a computer, and that will give you an output. So basically, I'll get this one single output in a few seconds, and that will have the headers of all these files. So we can have different use cases, and coding is still required. So if you guys are really into coding, please use generative AI to make life easier. Image creation, image classification. A lot of these images that you see in this slides are created by Saheli through ChatGPT for DALI specifically. It's a very good use, really nice pictures, image classification, object detection. Basically, there's so many different areas that you can work on. Pick one. If you want to do a research, if you want to build, pick one and just go ahead. Video generation, editing, text to video. There's a lot of things that's going on, okay? Yes, Binod. Someone raised a hand. Can you chat? I'll probably see. Is there any questions, Haley? No questions? Okay. Cool. Let's move on. Oh, I found this really nice. Is there any question? No, right?
No, I'm not sure. I think it's a general question. Don't
Okay.
worry, I'll interrupt you if it's an important one.
No problem. No problem. Okay. I used to work in research, and NeurIPS 2023 is probably NeurIPS is probably one of the world's best computer science AI ML conferences that you can write a paper to. So if you are a computer science student, if you want to pursue research, make sure you write really nice, high quality papers. It goes to NeurIPS. It goes to there are different AAAI and different conferences that you should target. So this is a paper by Microsoft researchers in NeurIPS 2023, and this is really interesting. I don't know how many people know about this. Please just write on the chat that you already know about code. It's called combustional diffusion. I'll be honest, I really don't understand this yet. This is really difficult to understand and very complex. I just wanted to show the use cases through this nice little video that they had put. Okay. So this is going to be a future possibility, still work under progress. Pushing these things out to production and to millions of users is a really difficult task. So let's see what's going on. So there's a picture, there's a particular, let me pause this. There's a picture, there's a prompt, and there is the raining ambience, a sound basically. So the input is image, text, and audio, and it all goes into Cody combustible. You can search this particular. Okay, there's a question. Do you know
Sure,
about?
you can remove the box from your screen and you can keep continuing. I just
Okay,
do the
yeah,
poll.
thank you. Yeah, a lot of people know about it. I'm surprised. Like even people who know, I'm really glad that you guys do. Amazing. You guys have been keeping up with AI research. Amazing. So um, let me turn the video on. Let's see the entire video. Okay. So you see that video. So basically, it will, uh, if you can hear the sound, nice. I can hear the raining sound, and then it takes image plus audio. Actually, let's go and see one website. So this was one of the examples by my. Okay. So 86% don't know this. So I think you guys learned something new today. You're definitely going to check out more of this. Any to any generation is going to be a huge thing once it becomes true. Okay. So let's look at this nice thing similar to Cody. This is by National University of Singapore. I'm going to click here. I'm going to show you guys. Just let me know if you can see this particular website. It's called NextGPT. Same thing, any to any multimodal large language model. What does it do? Just go to this website. It's called nextgpt.github.io. It's hosted on GitHub pages. So if you see the technical description, you'll see that's the same thing. Uh, if you're not interested in any of this, leave all of this. Just look at the examples. Directly go and just see the examples that they've given. Right now, almost everyone's been using ChatGPT, and we probably just write a text prompt. We'll get a text output, or probably we'll just get an image, right? But what if you can write a text prompt and get text, image, and audio? I hope you can see, all of you can see this, because this is a different screen and tab.
Yeah, next
Okay,
GPT.
thank you. Yeah, so this is just one example, text to text, image plus audio. And if you go to this website, you can see that you can provide a text and image, and it will give you a text, image, and video. So there's a lot of use cases of AI if you explore. This is just one of them. Is the guy in the video Iron Man? Text plus video, text plus image. Can you show me a comic style picture of Iron Man? Nice. Okay, so this is um, something that I wanted to show you guys. I hope you found this interesting. Let's move on. Okay. Do you guys want to take a break? Because I've been almost like doing it for 1 hour, so we can take like a 5 minute break. You guys are okay with that? You guys want to go and drink some water, have some food? Okay, let's take a 5 minute break. Perfect. Because we're moving to another. So Neha says no break. All right, Neha. Okay, let's take a 5 minute break. Um, it would be really. Okay. I actually made it really simple for people to understand from non-tech because there's a lot of stories. Please take around Chetna because I've got a lot of other things and I'll try to break it down as much as possible because I understand the classes of a very diverse background from different people. But these are slightly technical things and I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. I'm not using a lot of tech jargons, but I'll see like we can connect later. We can talk about it. We can talk about what specifically you did not understand. Just drop me a message on LinkedIn and I'll talk about it. Okay, guys, let's take a 5 minute break. Exactly, it's 8:13 Indian Standard Time right now. We'll come back at 8:18. Okay, 5 minute break.
Hello, everyone. While the break is going on, I will just take a quick feedback from all of you on everything that you're learning so far, everything that you're probably enjoying or struggling with, so that I can uh, update Shovik with it. I hope that you're enjoying the class so far. I know some of the parts are feeling very difficult because I can, but same here, same bro. Um, but it's just half an hour more, and probably the most interesting but also important part of the session is right beyond. So just stick around a little bit. um, I know some of you probably found it very difficult. I also want to request the tech people to keep answering in the chats, because I've seen some of you do it, and that's very helpful, because not all the questions are, it's not possible to answer every question very specifically all the time. But if you are a tech person from a tech background, please respond to it. Also, guys, please mark your attendance on his LinkedIn profile if you can, so that you can connect with each other, because otherwise it's going to be difficult for you guys to stay connected, because we have not enabled the WhatsApp chat because it gets very spammy, and we have got a lot of experience with high number of audiences, and it becomes a huge spam otherwise. So if you guys want to connect, LinkedIn is a great place. I hope that you guys are connected with him on LinkedIn already, but he's just made a post, so you can post it there. A lot of you asking about the recording. So yes, the recording will be uploaded on his social media profile, which is his YouTube, but it takes some time for any Zoom recording to process. So we'll definitely post it, and the moment it's posted, we'll mail you as well. I think also ConvertKit has a limit on free mails. So we just touched that free limit. So maybe 20, 30 people may not have gotten a mail. So really sorry if somebody had to struggle. I've tried my best to respond to everyone from his profiles, but it's definitely like a good number of people. Um, right, a lot of people don't have his LinkedIn, so I'll just add his. Divyesh, thank you very much. That's very, very helpful. That's very helpful. Okay. Yeah, that's a very detailed answer from Noah. And I think that would probably answer a lot of queries. And I know that there's a lot of generic questions like how to use AI, how to use AI for business, but like this class is just to have an understanding of what you're even using. It's like asking, how do I write an essay without knowing the alphabets? So you're knowing the core basics of it, and not just ooper say stuff. I think the moment I met Shovik, I wanted him to do something like this, but he's always been very much against taking classes on what prompt to write, or surface level stuff. And that makes sense given his academic background. So this is much more important to understand the basics of what you're even doing, so that you can actually be a better user of AI when you have a better understanding of the tools. And I am 100% sure that it has helped me a lot, because I use ChatGPT like left, right, and center. I like all the images that you see in today's PPT. I have made, I have made them for him. And yeah, so I entered Hansel and Gretel in a library. It didn't give me a result because ChatGPT was like, this goes against our policy. So I was like, brother and sister, 10-year-old, holding hands in a library. So because I wanted to give the example like that. So yeah, thank you so much, Sakshi. I think we're gonna start in a minute. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that you guys are having fun and sticking around. I think the next segment is on types of machine learning. And this is one section that's going to uh, probably shock you a little bit. I don't know. I'm excited. Also, please take screenshots, guys, because you don't have to wait for us to send you the recording then. What are vectors? That's a good question. I also don't know. So we will ask later on. We'll ask it later on in the end. So don't worry. Yeah, I think it's 8:18. I think we were supposed to start at 8:18. So I will go off now, and we'll probably get.
Thank you so much, Sayali. Yeah, I heard someone asking the question, what are vectors? It's nice. Who's asking this question? I can answer. So these questions I can like I would say that if it's very simple to if it's something complex, probably ask it in the chat, or you can connect with me later on this. But if it's very simple, if it's something that's very Googleable, right? What are vectors? Like these are things which we had already done in some maths. So if you want to go very deep into tech and if you want to build, then definitely check out some really nice tutorials, or you can just Google ask ChatGPT to. So use this prompt called explain to me like I'm five, or explain to me like I'm a college graduate, and that will help a lot. And just write whatever you want. So use AI, use the free AI for all the things that you have problem in, and that will help a lot. Okay. So let's start. The next segment is going to be machine learning. And we have almost covered a lot of topics about AI, and that was the introduction to AI. Machine learning is going to be a part of AI. And by the way, um, I hope people are back. I see that. Um, yeah, there's a lot of questions like how to approach upskilling into ML and stuff. I have one slide for that at the end for people who want to become AI engineers and other things. Meet N-gram model. If you know about bigram models, this is a particular topic of NLP. This goes a little advanced. When I take an NLP class, please make sure you join it. I'll explain N-gram model properly. Sakshi, thank you. But don't worry, you don't have to pay me. I will be taking AIML classes. I would love to take coding classes properly, but I'd request you guys, like whoever had this particular class, this introductory class had no uh, prerequisites. I did not set it for, like, I made sure that everyone can join it. I made sure that college students, school students, anyone from non-tech background can join. And later on, I can separately take a very niche segment for people who want to build in AI. Okay. All right. Okay. Perfect. Let's start again. I'm going to share my screen and let's start with machine learning. I hope everyone's got 5 minutes of break. Everyone's back again with high energy. This is very interesting. Machine learning is really important for anyone who's going to learn. By the way, please be mindful that I've kept machine learning really easy. I can go much deeper into this, but that would take like hours and hours of time, right? So I've kept some stories, and as Saili said, that this is going to be a very interesting segment. She helped me design it, and she's got really creative ideas. So if you feel that you cannot explain technical things to a non-technical person, there's something that you need to change about the way you're learning that, right? This class is also for technical and non-technical people. 200 people are here. I'm pretty sure that not all of you are like very fluent in uh, technical coding and stuff, right? So I want to make sure that you don't feel intimidated by this, that you feel encouraged to learn Python. Like there's no time to learn Python right now in 5 minutes, right? So I'll give you that time. I'll give you that resources. I'll provide that roadmap where you can learn and be interested. But first, you should be interested in that, right? Okay, let's start with machine learning. All right, let's see what machine learning is. Classical programming versus machine learning. Now, if any one of you have done even a little bit of programming, you know that we write if else loop. We define a lot of rules. We have the data, we define a lot of rules, and we get the answers for that particular program, right? So um, yeah, so that's basically what classical programming is. Basically, you've got the data, you define some rules on it. Let's say it's something like an if else, like if, let's say you want to predict whether there's going to be rain or not. Let me take an example. So let's say you want to predict whether there's going to be rain or not. So you make a classical programming model where you have certain data and you define some rules on it. If the temperature is below 10 degrees and humidity is 80%, then carry an umbrella. Otherwise, don't carry an umbrella. That's data and rules fed into the program, and you'll get the answer. So every time you probably say, okay, what's the input? The temperature and probably the humidity. You'll probably get an answer based on that. But that is not very smart. Then comes machine learning, where you provide the data and the answers. Let me take the same example. If it's going to be if it's going to be raining today or not. So we've got data for the last 1 year in that particular place. Let's say you live in London and you want to know if it's gonna rain in London or not, because it keeps raining in London a lot. So you want to know whether it's going to rain in London or not tomorrow, but you don't want to use a classical programming method. You want to use machine learning. So you take 1 year of data, you train a machine learning model on it, on 1 year of data. You tell the machine to find out patterns. You tell machine learning model that temperature and relative humidity are very important features. Give preferences to them, make them feel important so that they can predict the output whether it's going to be raining or not. So that's a classification problem, right? So then machine learning model will learn that particular thing. It will define rules, okay, and then it will execute in a much smarter way. So even if you tweak the temperature a bit and you tweak the humidity a bit, you will get a much smarter answer based on data specifically for London, right? These are not hard coded rules. So that's the difference between classical programming and machine learning. Let me know if you guys are clear with this. This is the simplest definition of machine learning I can think of. And a lot of, especially this question is for non-technical people. Are you clear with this? Like, you must have seen a lot of rule-based programming. Okay, just drop yeses, lots of yeses. Sorry, my voice was not coming properly. Okay, is it better now? Just yes. Okay, it's better. Okay, so you understand. Why don't we feed rules and data directly to models to hold on? That's what. No, okay. So Manisha, that's the fundamental of classical programming. We tell the rules and data to the program and then we get answers. So that is what most people do. That's how automation works. That's how the entire world is probably functioning without machine learning, right? That's what goes on in most of the system. That's how all of the system, and you need rules. You need rule-based programming for finances, for systems which are very specific to this. Okay, let me see the Zoom chat again. This was for Manisha, who asked, why don't we feed rules and data directly to models to get answer? Okay. For better trading. Stock market data. Right. So it depends on what you want to predict. It may or may not be good depending on the data quality. Yes, we definitely can, but it really depends on what quality of data and how much data are we using. Okay, and it's a really hard problem to solve. But yeah, when I probably go into the technical parts of it, we can talk about it, Sachin. Okay. Um, some other example. Yes, I will explain with some other example, and I will take one more example for you. Who was that? I didn't see the name. Yeah, Shukirti. Okay. Ankit, I wanted to teach neural network, but trust me, neural network comes a lot under deep learning. I wanted to, that's one of my favorite topics of machine learning and AI. And as you can see, it's already 8:30 and I'm left with almost 20 slides more. So I have to cover some things a little quickly, and I've got a really nice, very fun example, okay, for the person who asked, can you explain with another example? All right, let's take another example. Let's take a very simple example of Nike shoes and Adidas shoes, okay? I took the slide from Jeff Su. So he trained a model on Nike shoe sales data. He saw that, okay, Nike shoes are selling well. This is why they're getting sold. Let's, use the model on Adidas sales data and make some predictions on how Adidas sales are going to do this year. Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Thanks, Sakshi. I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So Nike shoe sales data, we've trained a model on that, and then we're testing that model on Adidas sales data, and we're making some predictions on that. I hope this one is clear for everyone to understand that we are basically training the model first, and then we are making predictions on that model. Okay. Types of ML. Okay, this is going to be interesting.
So we
So
remove the box on the bottom on the center.
this one,
The one in the bottom, underuse unlabeled data.
okay. This is better.
No, that box is still there. There's one in the center as well.
Okay, let me see what I can do.
Yeah, it's gone now.
It's gone.
Hmm.
Okay, this is a problem, I guess. So yeah, I think it'll go in a bit. Please tell me if everything looks
Yeah, yeah,
good.
it's gone.
It's gone. Types of ML. Perfect. Okay, let's move on to supervised model and unsupervised model. These are two different types of machine learning techniques, where in supervised model we use labeled data, and in unsupervised model we use unlabeled data. Okay, so this is a picture of um, artificial intelligence, and inside that you see machine learning, and inside machine learning you'll see deep learning, and that's where neural network comes in, discriminative AI, LLMs, generative AI. So you see, these are advanced topics which, if you want to do in technical depth, you definitely need to solve some simple machine learning problems with linear regression or decision trees, and you need to know these algorithms pretty well. Okay, so imagine that you're looking for a husband and wife. So I'm pretty sure that you guys know who the first one is. And anyone who's not from India, we specially put that image of Leonardo DiCaprio for you guys. So uh, Leonardo DiCaprio and Champaklal both are going to meet Seema Auntie.
It's Popat Lal.
Popatlal. Right. Yeah. Right. Popatlal. Okay. You may meet Seema Auntie. She's a matchmaker. Now, people who are not from India, the first question that like, what is a matchmaker? Okay. In India, we have arranged marriages. So Indian matchmaking is a thing. It's a show, it's a very popular show on Netflix. And we're going to take the example of Seema Auntie to understand different types of machine learning, supervised, unsupervised, and reinforcements as well. Before that, let's look at some data again. Okay, we've not looked at any data after that slide of income in 94 versus 2024. Now, this is a very interesting data. It's very funny. Um, Leo only dates people under 25. This was from a post on Reddit, and she will use three approaches to tell if, you know, so Seema Auntie can use this data and predict whether Leo should be matched with a girl with who's 26 or not. She'll probably just answer in yes or no. Based on the historical data, this should probably tell Seema Auntie that probably Leo's not gonna do well, and Leo's got this age limit, and then we should just probably, make another choice for Leo. Okay, so I hope you guys like this slide. Saili found it out for me. All right, let's look at supervised learning, the perfect match. Seema Auntie uses supervised learning to find matches by looking at how successful pairings from the past. Okay, so she basically looks at historical data. She reviews the profile and the preferences of couples like who've been matched. So she would probably see features. How many dates did they go to? If their stars aligned or not. And she would probably look at different things like, like what the preference of the guy was, the girl was. So she's got this huge data set of people. She is predicting matches. Seema Auntie uses the information to suggest new matches by finding people with similar traits. So basically, she's using historical data. She'll say that, okay, this person's gonna. So once a new couple comes in, she's using supervised learning and telling them, I predict that there's a 89% chance that you will match with this girl. Okay. So if past couple share some cultural values, hobbies, uh, Semanti will suggest similar traits to new clients. The other method that she uses, so second approach that she used was unsupervised learning, the personal discovery. Now this is funny because it's like exploring like new possibilities in matchmaking. So she would say that she would collect data on various interests, lifestyle, personality traits, and then she would look for patterns, and she would probably like segment people that okay, these people have similar. So what we looked at word embeddings, right? So similarly, she would probably segment people, and she would probably help people understand what type of partner might fit their unique profile based on these patterns. So basically, uh, people who love both traditional and modern cultures often find joy with partners who balance these aspects. So she'll guide her client accordingly. Now, this is a really funny way to explain these three. And the last one is a trial and error approach, which is reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is also used in a lot of games. Like if you guys want to see a nice documentary about AI, watch AlphaGo. It's a model by DeepMind. They do really nice research. So it's all about reinforcement learning. But coming back to Seema Auntie, she uses the trial and error approach. Now, she will learn through experience and feedback. So she will take feedbacks from the dates. Seema would probably ask the clients, how was the date? Can you provide me the feedback? The date would probably be like, oh, it was good. So she would write down, it was good. So probably she would update the model again. If it was bad, then she would take the feedback, learn from the results, and refine the matches. Based on that feedback, she would adjust her approach to improve the chances of a successful match. So she will use that feedback to make better matches online in future. All right. Okay. Why is this looping in this one? All right. Okay. So some of the things that Seema Auntie needs to take care of before building these machine learning models. I hope that this was clear. Like I'm going forward, and I think we've been a little short on time probably for Q&A. So I'm just gonna. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. Name of the documentary AlphaGo. Yes, please watch that. It's one of my favorite documentaries. It's very good. Um, One of the things that we should be careful of when we're training machine learning models, and just a second, I hope the bar.
Shovik, I will recommend not opening your chat until this is over because only a few
Yeah,
slides left. I think the interruption is not nice.
okay, I think so. Just a second. All right, so Seema Auntie definitely needs to make sure that she's getting the right information. Data quality is first and foremost thing uh, in training any AI machine learning model. Okay, because when you train a good model, you get good output. There's a phrase in computer science, it's called garbage in, garbage out. If you train with really bad quality data, you will get bad results. I had this issue when I was doing my research thesis, and I had really bad quality data. I was trying to find nice features, and I was trying to predict a PM 2.5 of New Delhi. But we had really bad features. There was no correlation between the feature and the target variable. So we had to keep on going and searching for nice data, which was accurate and up to date, right? So data quality is very important. If there's missing values, then we use some data cleaning techniques. So this is where data science comes in, and you need data science before you move on to ML or AI to clean the data and make sure the data is in really good quality. Okay. Second one is training and testing data. Using past successful and unsuccessful matches to learn what works and what doesn't. So basically, what she would probably do is, let's say she's got data of 1000 couples. Okay. Now she would probably say that she wants to train a machine learning model. So she would, what would she do? What would be the approach that she would take? She would probably do the 80-20 split. 80% for training the machine learning model, 20% for testing that machine learning model on that data. So she would probably look at 800 couples data and see what worked and what did not work for them. And then she would try to predict on those 200 couples to see if they matched or not. So if she sees that, okay, using these 800 people's couples data, I'm able to predict a really nice prediction is coming out for these 200 couples. That means my data is doing really well. That means my machine learning model is performing really good. So that means that's why training data and testing data should be separate. Now, if I tell that, okay, Seema auntie, use all the 1000 people's data and then predict on the last 200 couples data, what do you think will be the accuracy of Seema auntie? Just answer in chat, okay? And if someone can just say, if you can tell me the answer, if she's away, I think probably I'll tell you the answer. It will be 100%, because when you have the training data and the testing data in the same thing, like you are training on 1000 couples data and you're using the same data to test your model will do well because it has already seen the data. So it knows, it has recognized the patterns, and it will do really well, or at least it'll be very close to 100%. Okay. So you need to make sure that you're not training and testing on the same data. That's a big no-no for machine learning. Okay. Right. So we already talked about model training, and she will do some different things, like she'll probably talk to the couples to make sure that successful couples and what works for them, the characteristics, unsuccessful couples, things like that. Model evaluation. This is a very important part of ML. It's also called inference, which is basically reviewing feedback from the clients after the dates and matches. So why is model evaluation necessary? To tell how your predictions have done. So you can use error rate. Now there's different error rates like MSE, MAE to tell how well the model has performed in the real world. So basically, if you don't evaluate your model, if you don't have inference, you don't know how the model is going to do. Until that, your model is good for nothing. You've trained a model, well and good, but how does it perform in the real world data when it sees examples it hasn't seen before? Okay. So I think we might have some time for doing machine learning algorithms. Guys who want the code for this, I will give them the code because I have written a small Jupyter notebook. I don't know if you can see, but I'm just going to show you this very quickly. And I hope, so people who don't understand this code, this is for linear regression, but I just wanted to touch upon this part very quickly. We don't have much time, a lot of people, and we still have a few slides to go. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the data very quickly. This is how it looks like and what you're going to do in Python. So I'll share this IPYNV file, which is called Interactive Python Notebook. So don't worry if you don't understand this. This is for people who want to build an AI, and but this is really, really simple. I'm just going to sum up for the non-technical people. Don't look at all that. These are libraries, or these are like basically you can think of books that we would probably need to train these machine learning models for all the functions and stuff. Okay, so I'm defining the number of dates and the math success. This is a simulated data, obviously, and the math success versus number of dates have been plotted. So this is just a random pseudo data, guys. So basically I've said that, okay, the higher number of dates, the better the chances of a match. It's a good one. So basically we can train a very, very simple linear regression model on this model, on this data, and we can say that use number of dates to predict the match success. Okay, now I can have uh, more features as well. This X can be more number of features. This might get a little technical for a lot of you guys, but don't worry, just try to understand the idea of it. So the number of dates is one of the features. I can have more features like this. For example, I don't know, interaction, uh, guy's personality, girl's personality, a lot of other things, a lot of other features that you can think of. Okay, then we train linear regression model will always be a straight line. Uh, don't want to go too much into the math, but the math of a straight line is basically y equal to mx plus c. M is the slope, c is the intercept, and we fit a straight line through all these data points. And any of this, let's say if I want to predict, let's say if I go on 8 dates or 8.5 dates, let's say if this was a bigger number like 100, so I would say that if I go on this number of dates, what is the chance that I would have a match success? So that's when we do predictions on that data, right? So this is a nice way to plot your data. This is a nice way to do linear regression on a very simple simulated data. This is what I've basically done: created and trained a simple model and made some predictions on it. Don't worry if you're not understanding any of this. In the next class, when I take the next, probably for niche people who want to understand code, probably take all of this into more details. And then I've also done something called as a decision tree. You don't have to understand too much about the decision tree, so I'm just gonna just for the sake of time, I'm just gonna say that, okay, how do you make the decision? The root node will ask, do they share similar cultural values? If yes, move to the next branch. If no, they're not compatible. Fine. Next decision. So basically, if this is a yes, then it will go to the next branch. It will go to the next branch. And then if it's a yes again, then it will get the perfect match. If it's a no, it will directly say that it's not compatible. Don't worry about the data. If you want the data, I'll send you the link. I'll probably send you guys this Python notebook or the .py file as well. So basically, move to the other branch. If no, not compatible. So decision tree is basically like a tree where there will be two decisions, like either yes or no. So you'll keep going on into the tree until you find that last node. Okay. So this was just a very simple explanation. Let me where am I? Why can't I see my Zoom? Sorry. Okay. Sure. Kirti, do share this Jupyter code node. Yes, this is a pseudo data, but yeah. Uh, Generative AI. Yes, Sahil, I'll take that. I'll take that in the last few minutes, but let me just finish my slides. Okay. Let me start with my slides again so we can. So this was a brief introduction of machine learning algorithms. Just a second. Yeah, this was a brief introduction of machine learning algorithms. Now let's move on to the last part of this presentation. So if you want to become an AI engineer, if you're interested in coding, if you want to learn how to build AI applications, these are the tools that you definitely need to know. You need to know Python, you need to know SQL, you need to learn about DSA, which is data structures and algorithms, Git, GitHub, Pandas and EDA means exploratory data analysis, machine learning, deep learning, which is neural networks and autoencoders, different things, NLP, computer vision. Now here you can choose either you prefer NLP or you want to build robots and you want to do computer vision with self-driving cars. MLOps is basically pushing machine learning models into production. So the way machine learning works in real life is very different. Um, People have to use Kubernetes, Docker, all these technical things to push the code into machine learning in real world. It's much harder than what we do in Jupyter notebooks. So in core skills, you'll definitely need computer science fundamentals, a lot of math, If you want to become a data scientist, if you want to do AI engineering, you need a lot of math, especially probability, statistics, linear algebra. You need to be very good at that. You need to communicate. And the last one is business understanding. This is a point that I'll focus on for most of you guys. AI is not useful if not valuable for the business. You can build the best model and it can give you the best predictions, but if it's not cost effective, then it's not beneficial. So whenever you're building an AI model or ML model, you need to understand that uh, what's the business goal that I'm solving. So always think from the business perspective how you're solving a problem. Okay, so I wanted to keep it very short, this resources page, because I see a lot of people post a lot of resources. I'll post my favorite resource on the first one. 3 blue, 1 brown. The way he creates mathematical simulation is out of the world. It's really good. Code Basics, Krish Nayak, they're really good, very popular Indian YouTubers doing really well in data science, AI. If you want to learn, you can watch some of their videos. Daniel Burke, he's Australian, he's doing really well. He does like 5-6 hours YouTube tutorials. So these are not copied from anywhere. This was just off my head and I had put it all there. Deeplearning.ai, it's by Andrew Ng. He's like the god of AI. You should definitely check that website out. Course.fast AI, Fast AI is by Jeremy Howard. It's very good for practical deep learning. For advanced people who are like probably super bored by now, they'll be like, oh my god, this is so basic. Yes, for you guys, I would suggest that if you guys are watching, do ML system design by Chip Huon from Stanford. It's really good. And Andresh Kalpathy, he's the lead of Tesla. He worked on the self-driving stuff of Tesla. So he's going to launch a course called LLM 101. It's going to be really good. So you can check that out as well. And the last one is the course slide for ML. So the website for ML system design. So definitely check out LLM 101. It's going to be launched. It's going to be really technical, but this is for people who understand Python, who understand the basics of NLP. But people who don't, I would suggest you go to Code Basics and Krish Nayak and watch Python, basics of AI, ML. Daniel Burke is very good at PyTorch. These are libraries for machine learning. Okay. So coming to productivity pitfalls. This is not technical at all. These are some of my personal favorite that I wanted to talk about in this particular workshop. Attention residue, choice paralysis, shiny object syndrome. When you see so much of options in front of you, you get really paralyzed. You feel like when you see, have you ever been to a restaurant and seen that, oh my God, the menu of this restaurant is like 10, 15 pages. So you're overwhelmed by all these options, and that's when choice paralysis happens. So that's why I just gave like a few resources. I did not swamp you with like hundreds of things, and you're like, oh my God, where do I go? So simplify choices by setting clear criteria. What do you want to learn? Where you're currently at? Then attention residue. This is something that we face a lot. When you switch between tasks, your mind lingers on the previous task. So if you're doing one thing, just stick to that one thing, finish that first, and then go to the next one. Okay. So it decreases productivity and cognitive performance. So you can basically complete one task and then take short breaks between your tasks. Shiny object syndrome. Almost a lot of people in AI, in software engineering have this thing. They see a new library, they see, oh my God, there's AI agents, agentic AI is coming up. Let me get started with that. But do they really know about LLMs properly? Do they even know how NLP works, what NER is? No, they abandon the basics and then they look at the shiny object and they feel like, oh, this looks really nice, this is really cool. So a lot of people would think that AI is really cool. In generative AI is really cool. Generative AI, everyone's just talking about generative AI, but you need to learn machine learning first to understand the basics at least before you go to generative AI or before you dive deeper into deep neural networks and autoencoders and things like that. So don't run towards a shiny object. Okay. So that being said, did you like the workshop? We have almost reached the end of the workshop. Please tell me in the chat yes or no so that I can see. All right. Thank you, everyone. I am going to go to my last few slides. And should we keep learning every weekend? I'll cover broad topics and niche subjects around AI. What I'm thinking of, since this was my first introductory class, this is for a very broad audience. A lot of students have joined, a lot of non-technical people have joined, and a lot of technical people have also joined. So I want to create different segments. That's why I said choose your path. You want to be the builders of AI or you want to be the users of AI. For users of AI, let me create a separate class for them: AI for writing, AI for marketing, AI for something else. So I'll teach them how to use the tools, probably use a few basic tricks in no code, low code. But for people who want to build in AI, probably teaching them how to build an agent in AI using crew.ai, how to use different libraries, what PyTorch is, TensorFlow, and even like going deep into neural networks, trying to understand, speaking about it just with the technical people. So I'll probably take like a very niche class and I will write down the prerequisites for that class. If you know that, you can come. If you don't, then please be patient, or you can Google or you can use ChatGPT as much as you want, because that's where the real learning happens. It's a steep learning curve. Go ahead and tell me what subjects you'd want me to cover, what topics. I'll probably like, if you're in the WhatsApp group, I'll probably select a few topics and I'll let the group choose which topic should I cover next. Okay. So, by the way, this workshop was not free. You need to pay me by investing in yourself. If you are kind to other people, and obviously to stray dogs, please feed them. Especially in India, this is a big problem. Small acts of kindness can make a big difference in people's life and also in these poor animals. So feed a stray dog and invest in yourself. Don't go for crypto. Don't go for if you're in your early 20s, if you're just in college, if you're just starting out your career, invest in yourself. Don't look at FDs, don't look at anything. Don't look at any sort of financial investment. The best investment you can do is in yourself. Take time to learn and grow. Prioritize your personal and professional development. Learn from anywhere. Okay? So these are the things I want. And please spread the word. I have just started out. This was my first time um, doing this kind of thing in front of so many people. First, always very special, and you always need someone. Like Saheli was my support. My family was definitely always encouraging me. My professor from MTech, he told me that you have performed musical instruments on stage. This is just another performance, and that encouraged me. So these are always going to be totally free for students, individuals, and professionals. So someone who said that you can charge whatever you want for AI and ML, you don't really need to do that. I will always make sure that these classes are free, and I'll try to give as much time as I can. But you guys need to help me grow. You guys need to spread the word. You guys need to tell your friends so I get motivated and I can teach a big bunch of people. I probably also want to speak at colleges, schools, corporates, offices. So let spread the word. Let your managers know or let your authorities know that I would like to do a session, and they can contact me. And this is all I want. So just want to briefly touch upon the ethics of AI. I know we're like almost very short on time. So quickly, since we're building AI, we're building so many AI system very rapidly, right? So there's always a fight between Elon Musk and Sam Altman of OpenAI, like saying that OpenAI should be closed AI now. So it's a lot of problems that you see in AI. There's the bias problem. So AI systems are not trained. So if there's a particular bias in your data set, it will probably keep predicting that. So there's a lot of these issues, and this is not really my department. This is where my team, Catherine and Noah, are the best for that. And that's why I want to introduce you to Aurix. That's Noah. That's me. That's Catherine. And we are Aurix, and we want to future-proof Gen Z by educating and upskilling them in the field of AI. Uh, if I think if Saheli is on the call, if you can let Catherine and Noah to speak. I don't know how to
I have already given them co-host access.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Yes, Catherine, Noah, if you guys, please say a few words and introduce yourself.
Sure. I will jump in super quickly. Well, I mean, what an act to follow, Suvik. This was this is awesome. Excellent round one. Well, hello everybody. It's been wonderful to go back and forth with some of you in the chat. Thank you all for taking a bit of your Sunday night. I'm currently on the U.S. East Coast, so it's my late morning as I keep learning that you guys are most of you that are not international from India are 30 minutes off of us too, which is a funny learning. My name is Noah Frank. I am a recent college graduate. I am a senior consultant at Valise, a startup based in New York City. While I do that by day, by night, I am a co-founder of Aurix. So Catherine and I have known each other for a couple of years now. We're both passionate about policy, transformation, organizational change. That's where we met at the Boston Consulting Group. And here we are. So look, Suvik has been awesome as our chief technology officer. We're so lucky to have him. So seriously, thank you all for being here and supporting us. Definitely go check out Aurix. And Catherine, let me hand it over to you before I talk too long.
Yeah, so the goal here is to make AI accessible for everyone. And I think Suvik did an incredible job of really leveling the playing field, right? There's a lot of technical people in this Zoom room, and there's people who've never coded before, like myself. But that doesn't mean that we can't use AI. So the goal of Aurix is to help future-proof our careers by figuring out the best ways to use AI in our everyday lives and in our work. So we hope that this is just the beginning of a journey figuring out how to integrate AI into our lives and empowering all of you to know how it all works behind the scenes and figure out the best way that you can use it for your own work and life. So yeah, again, feel free to we have a LinkedIn page that we post a lot of content on. So feel free if you're interested to like our LinkedIn page. I think Suvik might send out information about that in the WhatsApp group. And then just kind of follow along. We are here as resources for all of you, and we hope to support each of you on this journey. So thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you so much, Catherine and Noah. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And please share the word. Please talk about AI more and tag me, Catherine, Noah, tag Aurix whenever you're making a LinkedIn post. And you can follow me on LinkedIn and on Instagram, and we can stay connected. And if you guys have any question, please ask them right now. We can have a short Q&A session. I am here, and if not, you guys, I can see you. I'll see you in the next class for sure. And I'm going to be here for another 5 minutes. And if you guys want to write something to me, because I've not been able to read the chat for so long, so please feel free to do that. And I want to say a big thank you to Catherine, Noah. These guys have been really supportive at Aurix. And the biggest thank you to my partner, Saheli. She's been the backbone of this entire thing. I mean, doing an event at this scale is really difficult. Reaching out to so many people, emailing all of them, all this infrastructure is really hard. And she's managed it all on her own. She has one team entirely for herself to do all of this, but she did all on her own to be the backbone of my entire workshop. And thank you everyone for taking out 2 hours, your lovely 2 hours, and for learning. And if you guys had any issues, if you guys had any problem, please text me, please email me or drop a message. Or if you guys want a specific topic that you want, we're very happy to do it. We, as in me, Catherine, and Noah, I really like to see the interest in ethics and AI policies, and that's when Noah is like really the boss. So I'm pretty excited to see the interest in different things and how people can, use this platform. So this is going to be free. Let's grow this community and let's keep learning. So I'm going to be here, guys. I'm going to turn off my video and you guys can stay. You guys can drop messages. You guys can talk to each other if you want. And yeah, if there's any questions, I'll look at that and answer. But yeah, if not, then feel free. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. And that's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for this lovely session, Souvik. I could understand you were nervous, but you did a pretty good job. And I hope that everyone in the session also enjoyed it as much. Did you guys like it? Guys, was it easy to understand? And there's a lot of topics he wants to touch upon. So maybe for the next 8 or 10 weeks, we'll be hosting these sessions on the weekends. I may not be there on every weekend, but I'll try um, to be there for him as much as I can. And I noted that a lot of you had so many questions, some very common questions, I think, where what are neural networks? There were some questions about what is the difference between ChatGPT 3.5 and ChatGPT 4. In general, these are very easy or general questions. So maybe Shovik, you can add it into your LinkedIn content strategy for Aurix or yourself. And that would be great. But guys, keep it coming. These sessions will be absolutely free. As Shovik has said, he would never charge an individual or even a professional for that matter. And just make a post on LinkedIn if you guys enjoyed it. Tag him, tag Aurix. Please be sure to join these because I know. So ever since on a much more personal note, ever since I've met him, I know that he really enjoys studying and he really enjoys education and academics a lot. But then he was doing a job. He's still doing a job, of course. And, he doesn't get that space to, talk about academics and education. So I've been constantly pushing him to do these things. And he just truly, truly, genuinely enjoys doing what he does, what he did actually for the last 2 hours. He has not slept in the last 3 days because he's been so excited for the presentation. Because, of course, when you make a presentation for the first time, it's also very difficult. So he's not slept in 3 days. It's like he goes to bed for 2 hours and then he wakes up again that I cannot sleep. I have ideas. So I hope that tonight Shovik will sleep nicely and we'll probably see you guys next weekend. And thank you so much to Catherine and Noah also for moderating the session with me. I'm really excited for what you guys are doing at Aurix. And yeah, Shavik, if you want to take a couple of questions or wrap it up. Now it's
Yes,
all.
guys, thank you so much. And please make sure that you are there on the WhatsApp chat. I realize that we have hit a limit of 1024, but I'm also aware that a lot of people will probably leave that group and realize that, oh, wow, AI is really hard. And well, I'm going to drop off from here. I'm probably going to just use ChatGPT for the rest of my life. And I don't care about AI. So I guess I'm going to stop the recording and just let me. How do I stop the recording? All right. Okay, yeah.